Torres is a German-style board game designed by Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling and published in 1999 by FX Schmid in German and by Rio Grande Games in English. The game strongly influenced Kramer and Kiesling's Mask trilogy of games, but is not considered to be a part of the trilogy. The game has since been reprinted. Gameplay. Gameplay revolves around constructing an abstract set of castles set on a grid. Each player is allotted several knight pieces, which are placed within the castles. The higher the knight's placement during a scoring round, the greater the payoff for the controlling player. The number of points a player receives per phase is based on the height times the surface area of the highest point of the castle that the knight is standing upon. If the knight is on the third level of a castle, and the castle occupies 5 squares on the board, the player receives 15 points. A king piece is also placed on the board and acts as a bonus modifier to any knights that occupy the same level and castle as the king at the end of a phase. The game is composed of 3 different phases, with each phase having 3 to 4 rounds each depending on the number of players. Each player has 5 action points to spend during a round. The following moves may be performed during a round. Place a new knight. All new knights must be adjacent to existing knights, and may only occupy a level equal to or lower than the existing knight on the board. Place a new castle piece. Castle pieces must be placed next to or on top of existing castle pieces. A castle's level cannot exceed the surface area, i.e., a castle occupying 2 squares on the map may only reach 2 levels in height. New castle pieces may not join 2 existing castles. Pick up an action card. There are 40 different action cards which allow the player to perform special moves, such as moving the king piece, moving castle pieces, or moving knights diagonally. In the master version, each player begins with a full set of action cards in their hand. Purchasing an action card is no longer a possible action. Move a knight. Knights may move 1 square per app point spent, but may only move up 1 level, and may not move diagonally. Knights can go down any number of levels without spending app. Gain 1 victory point. Action points may be exchanged for victory points on a 1-to-1 basis. Players receive 3 or 4 stacks of castle pieces per phase, with 2 or 3 pieces per stack, depending on the current phase and number of players. A player may only use pieces from 1 stack per phase, but may transfer unused pieces to another stack for the next phase. After the last phase is reached, all unused castle pieces are returned to the common supply and points are calculated. The king gives a bonus of 5, 10, or 15 points based on the scoring phase. The number of victory points per player is kept by individual markers on the edge of the game board. Since no 2 markers can occupy the same victory point number, the last player to occupy the space will automatically be moved ahead by 1 victory point. The person in last place after each scoring phase may then move the king piece to another castle. After the 3rd phase, all victory points are calculated and the person with the highest number of points wins the game.